What's up, guys? We're back. I know you've been waiting for this review. We want to see how these look in a buff test. Also, I have brought back the weird Asian streaker that we don't even know anything about yet. So we're gonna do a couple tags with this guy and you'll see how he compares to the others. But first of all, what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take some denatured alcohol, I believe. We're gonna see how these streakers stand up to the buff. If my prediction is correct, I think all of them are gonna not stand up to the hobo because it's oil-based and the others are alcohol. So we'll see how that goes. But just hang tight and we'll be right back for Streaker Madness Part 3. All right, dope. So the homie sent this from Japan. It's called GANKO. So these are little streakers kind of similar to the Sakura Minis, but they have a different barrel as you see, and about the same size as the Sakura Mini, but these are pretty tight, man. They fit in your pocket. They're not on the website. I'll tell you that right now. We might get them. I don't know if we're going to, but I just thought maybe we'd add it to the mix. So let's do a couple quick tags with this guy and you can see what he's like. So we're a little too soon to do a buff test with this guy because, well, I mean, it's just not fair. The other ones have been curing for a few weeks. So let's just at least do a tag with it and you guys can see what it looks like. So let me get off the ground here. So we've been writing Buster, right? So let me do another Buster tag. And remember, this is the GANKO marker. As you can see, it's pretty thick. It's definitely going to be not as smooth as the AP Solid or the Mean Streak, but it's definitely not too shabby. I'll definitely give him that. It's a little on the sticky side, kind of like a little bit more like a Sakura, I guess, but pretty nice, not bad. Definitely would do the job. So let's let this bad boy chill. Maybe we'll grab a couple quick tags somewhere else too. Yeah, let me do a tag. When should I tag? Happy holidays? Yeah. It is the holidays, so let's do a little happy holiday right here. Gotta get in the spirit, guys. Gotta get in the spirit. We'll do a little snowflake right here. We'll call it a snowflake. Right now, all the little ArtPrimo elves are packing boxes for all the good girls and boys. So the buff man's gonna have a lot of tools at his disposal. That's why it's important for you to paint a lot. So the most common thing that I see them using are usually chemicals like denatured alcohol or paint thinner, things like that. This is about probably one of the more mild ones that they might be using to remove stuff. So let's see how it takes care of these streakers. Now, people love streakers because they last for a long time outdoors. I mean, they don't fade, but that doesn't mean they're not buff proof, and they're not really. I mean, nothing is buff proof, so you can see. Now, just for those of you guys that forgot, I believe this was the hobo. This was the guitar marking chalk. This was the AP Solid. This was the Sakura Mean Streak, and this is the new the Gank marker. But we're not gonna buff this one yet because it's still wet and that wouldn't be fair. So let's start with the hobo, see how it looks. The hobo is oil-based, and as you can see, quite resilient. In fact, I'm taking the blue paint off the background instead. Let's see the marking chalk. Oh look, the hobo's finally starting to give in. Damn, the marking chalks do pretty damn good too. Classic streakers like the Mean Streak and the AP Solid. Can they handle it? This extremely unscientific test has told me what? That maybe one streaker will give the guy a little bit more work than the other one, but eventually he'll get it off eventually. I have to tell you, the marking chalk is really blowing my mind. The weird thing too is it's not fully dry. Look at that. If you see it on the camera. So remember guys, I did the marking chalk like a month ago. It's still wet, it's still sticky, but look how well it's holding up to the buff. You can pan up like this. It's still holding up quite well. I mean, even compared to the hobo, which I've always felt was like the most buff resistant, the marking chalk is really holding it down. Just keep in mind, they don't ever really dry the marking chalk. It always kind of stays a little bit sticky. But god damn, it held up to the buff pretty damn good. That said, a little bit of elbow grease and it starts to go away. You know what I'm saying? This is why I don't normally do buff tests, because I've talked to buffers and generally they'll find a way to get it off if they really want to. And the only really true way is to just paint more. Get out there, do it more. More, bigger, faster, longer, stronger. The line is they all will eventually get buffed. So get up, get out, get off the motherfucking couch and go do some damn graffiti. This is Green Ranger and my homie Makai, who's on camera, our new Charlie Bucket. You haven't met him yet, but you will. And I just want to say thank you for watching the buff test, and that's it, because we're done. All right, cool. So here comes the next part of the video. We have this piece of steel that we have sitting outside. It's been out in the rain for a few hours, and I think this will be a pretty tough test for these markers. The surface is pretty slick. As you can see, it's rather wet. And so let me go ahead and get those streakers and see how they do. Up first, guys, we got the GANK marker. And one feature I'd like to mention is on these Korean streakers, you can actually retract them back into the tube, which is pretty nice because sometimes you accidentally get a little too far out and you can't get the lid on it. And if you try to backtrack it, it gets broken usually. So these are designed that you can back them in safely and retract it when you're not using it. Now let's see how it handles in the wet. All right, let's check it out. First couple writes look pretty good, but as you can see, it once it starts getting wet, it just does not want to write anymore. And this is pretty common with a lot of streakers actually. They claim to be weather resistant, but they're often not. Let's try this with the Sakura as well. I think we're gonna run into the same problem. It's actually even worse than the other one. You notice that? Look at that, it just doesn't even write at all. All right, let's check out the, what's this? The marking chalk marker. Holy crap, it actually writes. That's pretty decent. I didn't expect that. So the marking chalk will work on wet surfaces. That's really good to know. All right, let's move over and try to get another shot here on a clean area. All right, up next is going to be the ArtPrimo solid marker. I think I know how this one's going to go because we've tested them before, and they do pretty good. Not as good as the hobo, but they do all right. So that's the AP solid. Not too shabby. All right, let's try the mean streaker. So let me see if I can adjust here, if you guys can see that. Oh, do you guys see that? All right, I want to give the Sharpie mean streak another chance because I thought it would be at least as good as the AP solid. So let me go ahead and try to catch that. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's just not doing it. So this is it, man. When you're in the wet, this bad boy just does not write. Look at that, it just turns into goo. Meanwhile, the AP solid, it's not the best, but you actually can see what the tag says. So let's get to the hobo. Everyone's favorite cheap streaker. And let me go ahead and get the scab off this bad boy here. So I've had some people who just don't like the hobo, but they just don't understand how awesome it is. And there's a reason why you buy the hobo, because it will write pretty much anywhere at any time. It's not the cleanest, I'll tell you that, but it'll pretty much write on anything and it won't streak. Let me do a couple quick writes down below and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really coming down right now, so this will be a great time for you to see how well the hobo does. Let me go ahead and take it out of the tube. All right, so this, my friends, is why you buy a hobo marker. You guys see what I'm doing there? How's that coming out? Yeah, see? This is what I'm talking about, guys. The hobo will write pretty much anywhere at any time. It'll even write underwater. So it may be cheap, it may be not the prettiest of streakers, but when you need to get down to business in a rough environment, a greasy, a wet surface, this is gonna be the one that's gonna do it. Comparison, let's look at the AP Solid up here and the, what's it called? The mean streak. So right here we have hobo over mean streak because we went over it, but the mean streak was non-existent. We have the AP Solid marker, and then over here we have the Sakura Solid, and then we got the GANK marker, and then we got the marking chalk up here at the top. Marking chalk did pretty good. I was actually pretty surprised. All right, check this out. If you're doubting me before, you won't be anymore. All right, do you think that's wet enough? I think that's wet enough. It might not show up here just because of the color, but it's definitely writing. Oh yeah, it's definitely writing. Look, we're about a 1/4 inch of water, standing water in here right now, and this thing has no trouble going the distance, no matter how wet it is. Literally underwater, guys. You can write underwater with this marker. All right, well, that was pretty illuminating. The AP Solid did pretty darn good. I was pretty impressed. Usually I'm not the most happy with how it works in the wet, so I often just rock the hobo marker for those types of circumstances. But it actually outperformed two stalwarts of the streaker world. The GANKO marker worked pretty similar to the Sakura. Didn't work as good in the wet at all. I mean, basically didn't work at all. Also, doesn't stand up on its own. So I have to hold it. But honorable mention goes to marking chalk. I mean, can you believe that? It actually worked almost as good as the hobo marker. It doesn't seem to dry ever. It just kind of stays like an oil bar from what I've seen. But it's permanent. It'll, you know, as long as you don't try to buff it, it pretty much stays up there forever. But even still with buffing, you saw the buff test, they all kind of hold up about the same. I mean, yeah, some hold up a little bit better than others. This held up surprisingly well. But like I said before, I mean, when it comes down to beating the buff, just go paint more. That's how you deal with the buff. Give him work to do, give her work to do, give them something to do. All the kids want is something to do, right? Isn't that how the song goes? The kids just want something to do. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my rambling, but that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you'd enjoy it. It's a little bit late, I apologize, but we got more on the way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, whenever you need anything graffiti related, you be sure to give us a call here at artprimo.com. 206-365-4083. Again, 206-365-4083. That's artprimo.com, your #1 source for
1 2 1 2. Kinda tired. Big L about to get into some shit. Alright, check it out. Yo, fuck all the glamours and glitz. I plan to get rich. I'm from New York and never was a fan of the Knicks. And I'm all about expanding my chips. You mad cause I was in the van with your bitch with both hands on her tits? Hold the own, hold the throne, that you know in your heart. I got style, plus the way that I be flowing is sharp. A while back, I used to hustle, selling blow in the park. Counting G-stacks and rocking ice that glow in the dark. Forever, hottie hunting, trigger temper, I'm quick to body something. You looking at me like I'm probably frontin'. I fuck around and throw 3 in your chest and flee to my rest. I'm older and smarter, this is me at my best. I stop hanging around y'all, cause niggas like you be praying on my downfall. Hoping I flop, hoping I stop. You probably even hope I get locked, or be on the street corner with a pipe smoking a rock. I got more riches than you, fuck more bitches than you. Only thing I haven't got is more stitches than you. Fucking punk, you ain't a leader, what? Nobody followed you, you was never shit. Your mother should've swallowed you. You want some tag along, flunky, yes man shit. Do me a favor, please get off the next man dick. And if you think I can't fuck with whoever, put your money up, put your jewels up. No fucking put your honey up, put your raggedy house up, nigga, or shut your mouth up before I buck lead and make a lot of bloodshed. Turn your tux red, I'm far from broke, got enough bread. And mad hoes, ask Beavis, I get nothing but head. My game is vicious and cruel, fucking chicks is a rule. If my girl think I'm loyal, then that bitch is a fool. How come? You can listen to my first album and tell where a lot of niggas got their whole style from. So what you acting for? You ain't half as raw, you need to practice more. Somebody tell this nigga something before I crack his jaw. You running with boys, I'm running with men. I'ma be ripping the mics until I'm 110. Have that niggas like, damn, but this nigga done it again. I throw slugs at idiots, no love for city cops. I sport a pretty watch, 850 rocks. I'm making wonderful figures, I don't fuck with none of you niggas. I might pull out this gun on you niggas and rob every last one of you niggas.
Yeah. What?
Tired.
For somebody tired, that wasn't too bad.